We're back, guys. Got a long layoff there. Unfortunately, my laptop took a crap. Actually, I actually dumped it live while on Facebook during the World Championships. I accidentally dropped it while helping show everybody actually, some of the matchups, and it fell over, and I messed up the screen. So that wasn't helpful. But hey, you're all welcome.
Animated there.
Yeah, it was not good by any stretch. So I had to take it in. They had to order some parts for it, and then when you buy your laptop from the swap meet, they don't exactly have those parts readily available.
So, you mean the swap meet parking lot? Don't even act like you walk in.
I was gonna say, dude, it had an Orange County address on the bottom of it, but I bought it in LA, so it was all right. So, but everybody good? Everybody ready for the upcoming season?
Yeah, I'm sick, so I'm getting rid of that, so I don't have to be sick during season.
Get it out the way early.
Do you guys get sick during season?
I just got off a crazy, I'm still coughing from 3 weeks ago, so it was gnarly, but I only get sick once every 2 years, but when I do, it just hits me.
Well, you know what's funny is that I work with patients every day and disgusting environments sometimes, and I didn't get sick. But you know what you two have in common is you both were at Freak Show.
Yep,
that's why we're sick.
That's cool.
Probably why.
Pretty much, I left there so poor from all the nickel and diming that happened.
Oh my
I couldn't even afford some cough drops on the way home.
Well, we're good. Well, let's talk about that a little bit. I mean, what do you mean by nickel and diamond? I mean, everybody knows, dude, you're going to pay for weigh-ins. You're going to pay for, unless you want to wait forever. And then you got to wait for them to register the extra 75,000. 100 kids. That kind of stuff. But what else kind of surprised you about it, Josh?
Not surprised me because it's happened before, but they stepped up and fixed it. We took 13 kids with us, but 2 of them decided to register under the high school name. And one of them, we have Academy of Wrestling and CRAW, which is short. Well, 2 of them registered under CRAW, under track. Well, they changed it when we got there, and they still didn't want to give us a second coach's band. So we had to pay $50 for one of the coaches to coach. Yeah. And then I got into it pretty good with Ed Dominguez or whatever his name is, Ed something. I got into it with him, and he was just like, we can't do it. And I was like, no, you can do it. You're choosing not to. I mean,
significant difference between things.
We're getting 3-4 hotel rooms at your host venue. We're spending $50 a kid, plus kids are changing weights and stuff. So that's an extra $15 if you want to change a weight. Plus kids, if their payment didn't go through for whatever reason, but they were still registered when they got there, they had to pay the late fee of $65 or whatever. It's just, I understand. And I even did a post on the forum about it and got some feedback.
Quote unquote feedback.
Quote unquote. If somebody's doing it for a fundraiser, I can be a little more lenient and understanding about certain things. But when it's literally to $25 for a parent to come watch their kid to wrestle, and they're charging all these vendors to be there, they're literally getting the event venue for free. They're making hundreds of thousands of dollars off the event. If a coach is bringing 10 to 20 kids, I've talked to another couple coaches too that brought a bunch of kids and they didn't get their extra bands or whatever. They're bringing that many kids. Those coaches are just going to say, we're not coming next year, or we're going to find a different event.
I think that's the thing. I think that's, what you've mentioned before is finding that next event.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it was a good experience for me. I'm going to say. I didn't know what I was getting into. I pre-registered. The hours before they were changing the weights or whatever that you were allowed to do. I was able to change a weight. All 4 girls made weight. We got there early on purpose because I didn't know what I was getting into. I heard about the stories. So I just got there like early, and we were like right at the glass doors when they told us to start lining up outside for to get inside, do the weigh-ins and all that stuff. Hit a buffet after weigh-ins,
We could
of
tell.
course. Yeah, that's probably where I got sick.
Sure it was. Where was the buffet at? That's the question. Did you help somebody through college along the way too?
No. Nah, but we had a good time, man. I mean, we were in South Las Vegas. We were down way on the other end, away from everybody. But it was nice because when we got there, I didn't even know the fitness center that they had at the place we were staying at was open 24 hours. So all my 4 girls went in there, and I went in there to go check it out if it was no weirdos or anything like that. And there was a couple of wrestlers in there cutting weights, some boys from Washington. Got to talk to them and stuff like that. So, you know. Other than that, yeah, I see the. Also, go ahead, Josh.
The competition is good because you're getting so many people from different areas. I mean, they had some really good matches, boys and girls. You know, we had a couple state placers, you know, battling it out in the finals, and competition was good. But I just think that when you're trying to run an event that big, it just irritates me, like the way the staff treats people too. I know that's a big. You know, they're constantly telling you like, sit down or move or whatever, you know, oh, you're not 2 up, you need to go. And, you know, they're switching mats. Like, you know, maybe they're doing odd number matches on one mat and even on the other. And you're trying to run between 2 different. Okay. So my biggest complaint was they had 2 halls, right? They had the big hall with, I think, 30 mats, maybe 20.
No, it was like 20 mats on one side because I was on mat 20.
Yeah, and so there's at least 20 mats on one side and another 18 in the other, right? Yeah. I have mats upstairs in my house that are bigger than those mats were in that hall, and they wrestled all the elite kids over there, and a lot of the girls wrestled in that other side too. I mean, did you see those, Gene? They were like,
yeah, it was really small.
They were maybe like 24 by 24 mats. I'm not joking.
No, they were tiny. It was amazing that I saw some of the refs like officiating one mat, and the kids were like kicking them and stuff from the other mat behind them. Because I mean, literally, when you're on the edge of one mat, you got like maybe about a foot, and then you're on the other mat.
That's been a problem that they've had like literally since 2008. People have been complaining about it. You know, it's been forever, and maybe not 8, but I mean, it's been forever that's been an issue that people have complained about, and they don't care. I mean, yeah, I get it. It's a money making thing, and they don't have to fix it obviously because people are going to go anyways. But it's a huge reason why I didn't want my girls going. I mean, some still went. They went with their high school coaches, but I told my club, I just said, look, I don't think it's a good idea. It's not. You know, Osteen, when she was on Somar last year, she had an injury. She had to deal with that injury the entire year, you know, and it's not, you know, safe. Josh, how many out-of-state girls did your daughter wrestle?
1.
And
for Eugene?
Yeah, about one. My girls wrestle. I think Angela's the only one that wrestles somebody out of state.
1.
Yeah.
California was strong. There's a lot less out-of-state girls, but there were quite a few in the finals, out-of-state girls. But a lot of kind of where you're thinking is a lot of the East Coast girls and whatnot, they're going to Super 32. You know, they're going freestyle, they're going Super 32.
Yeah.
Which is the following weekend.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you got to kind of weigh it out. And it's a travel for them, too. It's far. I mean, I would imagine you'd get the girls that are on the West Coast. Was Zepeda there? From Oregon?
I don't believe she was.
No, I don't remember seeing anybody from Oregon.
Yeah, I know Washington was there. Arizona was there, obviously.
Yeah, Washington was there.
Yeah, but it's too early in the season. Like some of those, like you got to take a loss or an injury or something like that. And it's crazy. That's a lot of time to be on the mat. And I understand now why Sam does what they do and stuff like that. But Sam was at Super 32, right? They had some girls do real good. Again, the brackets were really big at Super 32, though, right? I mean, they were pretty decent size, I think, in Vegas. But I don't think Super 32.
Yeah, and Sem's getting as many transfers as Birmingham, pretty much. I mean, those girls are flocking in.
I think Trump got the caravans mixed up. He misconstrued the Birmingham incoming class with the caravan.
Ouch.
Well, Ramirez, did you hear they got Jersey Estrada? They added 2-time state champ Jersey Estrada. Oh, sorry.
That's only because she wasn't here for 1 year.
Yeah, she was back in Colorado, but she wrestled for Colorado every year for Fargo somehow. But I mean, those are big points California could have. But I hope we get them this year, since now it appears she goes to high school and mom and dad both live here now. But yeah, I mean, that's another dude. Birmingham. What do you think, Josh? They got to be top. You think they're the top one in the state?
Top one.
I mean, let's go through the list here. Let's go through the list, okay? Katie Gomez, Aaliyah Rollins, Jersey Estrada, D'Souza. Their 50-pounder is super tough too.
They also have a little girl, like 101, 106. That's pretty tough. I don't know where she came from, but she's there.
Yeah, they got some hammers. So just with those girls alone, they got one other girl too, I think, from that area too. That's an All-American, I think, that transferred in too. So you're looking at Jersey's a Fargo champ. Rollins was top 3, top 4, something like that. Yeah.
Where at?
At Fargo.
At Fargo?
She was definitely an All-American.
She was 5. She was 5, yeah, but I think she was 5.
She's 5.
No, 7 or 5. I don't remember.
She took a loss though, didn't she? In Vegas.
I didn't actually watch the match.
She didn't make the finals.
Yes, yeah, I think she took a loss. Somebody from California. There were some upsets in Freak Show for sure, because I know Drury dropped a match to Rodriguez. What happened? How did Anya Drury and Cheyenne Bowman end up on the same side of the bracket? But initially, it wasn't that way. Josh, what happened?
I don't know. I mean, pretty much there's supposed to be a Rocky Mountain National criteria that, I mean, those are kind of like your first points for seeding is, like past events for Rocky Mountain Nationals. But then they also give you state seeding points and I think some national seeding points, but they're not a ton. But it seemed to be like for us, one of our boys, our good boys, we ended up 2 of our boys, even though they had the same school name, were on the same quarter of the bracket, right? Nagel and Gould. Yeah. So I went up and I talked to the people running the tournament. I said, hey, can we separate Nagel and Gould? And then Polanco was also on the same half of the bracket. So they were clearly the top 3 kids, or maybe top 4 kids. There's another kid from Bakersfield that was real tough in that bracket. So I said, yeah, can we separate my 2 kids? And sure enough, they just said, yeah, we'll put Gould up there in the top half. And so I think what happens is coaches that knew what they were doing would just be able to go up and say, hey, this girl and this girl are really good. We should separate them. And those people, I mean, not that they should. There are 3,000 kids there in brackets. They don't know who they are.
Yeah.
They're just taking their word for it and separating those kids.
Yeah, because I mean, Drury being 2-time runner-up at UWW and at Fargo, Bowman winning both those tournaments. Caden Campbell was on top. Drury beat pretty soundly. I was surprised. I saw the brackets. Obviously, I was looking just to see how my girls who they were gonna face. And you look and you see Bowman and Drury on the same side. It's like, how the hell does that even happen? So that was kind of like.
It would be interesting to see Campbell come out to California too, because I know she talked about
Jeff,
it.
Right? She trained with
going
Jeff.
to Selma.
Well, Birmingham now, right?
No, I'm just saying back last year there was talks about her. Allegedly. Dude,
if Birmingham gets that one, dude, it's over.
Yeah.
Those are big points. Yeah. So
I'm in their league, right?
Yeah, you're in
their league, CIF and Masters, right?
Yeah.
So I guess he's got to get strong, so I don't, get him.
Yeah, so it is. He's got to build up. It's like, good Lord, that was
He's got to watch out for Monroe. You know, that's why he's got to recruit.
That's
Get
what it
these
is,
kids in
right?
from out of state, man. Monroe's crazy.
Go from the guy who's building it up from the grassroots to the guy who's literally at farmer's market going, "Oh, take this."
That's not Mario.
Just freaking, here we go. So, hey, isn't it funny? The brown guy's not the one picking.
Wow. Wow.
He's giving you a hard time because I can. No, but yeah, that section again. I think is going to surprise some people, and Birmingham looks like they're poised to like possibly bring home the first team title. Yeah, and in a year that the girls are moving over to the boys too. I talked to some coaches today, and they weren't super happy about the schedule. Still, it doesn't sound like anybody's really excited about it. So that's going to be something to be looking at. Any other transfers that you guys know of that have kind of gone through? I know like Heaven Jerez transferred from Los Al over to Westminster now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know necessarily off the top of my head. Do you know of any that are? I mean, the school year started, so people are already where they're going to be.
Yeah, Jimmy already talked about Danielle Garcia a couple of weeks ago, and then I think he's got one other one that he hasn't like released yet. But there's another girl that came over too, but I don't know if she's like a superstar or just a tough girl. But
yeah, no, he's got some tough girls coming through, but it's going to be interesting to see how that southern section is kind of wide open. I think. I do. I think it's really wide open in terms of.
I know we're all over the place. Did you see Suhei won open tournament
That's great.
WC
the TWA tournament?
Yeah, she won some open tournament, and I know Gracie and Aleda were competing at the Simon Fraser one this weekend too. I haven't seen the results, but my assumption is they probably finished pretty high.
Yeah, no, those girls are banging it up for a long, long time. There was some other ones too that kind of came through. I saw SOU started their season. Diamond Guilford won the first tournament. She had a Fargo's final rematch with Sydney Kimber. Kimber looked real good too. Came through and beat some girls. That'll be interesting. I know the All-Star match happened. We had some girl matches in there. Erica Mahalika from up north. She was in the All-Star match. She's from California. From Missouri Baptist University. It looks like Link's doing a great job though. Over at Emmanuel, because I saw some of his girls are ranked pretty high. So I think that's another team that's coming up pretty good. What did you guys think of the World Championships?
Girls kicked ass. I mean, it was a little shocking. Helen didn't perform. She looked kind of rusty, real rusty. Pretty much, didn't penetrate, turn the corner.
I think that was that's where it turned. I mean, that was more of the focus of her not performing versus the emphasis on the women who did do well.
Yeah, and I know. Well, I don't know if you guys watch the commentary. It's kind of embarrassing, to be honest, when they're talking about how the girls are doing their hair and they're talking about other things and other than just like their technique and stuff. It's kind of just like, oh my gosh. And then Takara Montgomery had mentioned, like, do you remember that they had an award for during girls wrestling tournaments, so like big tournaments, they'd have the prettiest wrestler award, like up until like several years ago. Like they actually had that as an award at a tournament.
You still have your trophies for that?
I do actually. I'm not wrestling, guys. I'm not wrestling, but I think it was the glitter thong. But
I think some of that they're trying to do the storyline of like how girls are a little more bonded together than the boys teams. Like the boys teams are kind of like every man for themselves. They have each one of their individual coaches. Evidently they need some new Greco coaches.
Oh gosh, dude, did you see Thilke actually drop it out there? Just like,
oh yeah,
it was great. It was great. Everybody was like, "It's wrong."
Yeah, but hey, it was great, but he didn't perform either. You can't. I mean, he's been on the scene for 4 or 5 years now. He still has won like 3 or 4 matches in all of his world championship career. I mean, yeah, it's 4 more matches than I won, but still, he's the number one guy and he can't even win. So
said it too, like we're out here training with guys we're competing against and we're not getting better at position. We're just conditioning and getting stronger. So I thought that was good. Hey, who knows? They're saying they should keep it behind closed doors and stuff like that. But how do you know he hasn't? I don't think he's the type of guy to like blow it out there like that, But to be honest, what was more disappointing to me, is that you go through the female USA Wrestling's female team, and they're Team USA. Guys or girls, freestyle or Greco, they're USA. David Taylor, Kyle Dake, Jaden Cox, they are like blasting it out there, dude. Like, yes, a world finalist, this and that. How many men tweeted about the female wrestlers during the championships? How many?
David Taylor did. I saw that. Like, congratulations, Adeline Gray. A lot of the big guys congratulated Adeline Gray because she was kind of making her little comeback.
Jaden Cox.
I don't know about some of the other girls. Who's the girl that won silver?
You're talking Hildebrandt, Sarah?
Yeah, I saw somebody, but she's part of that whole, I want to say Iowa club crew.
Yeah, I was going through the Twitter and I didn't see anything. I was just like scrolling through, and I was just like, man, I'm not seeing anything here. Like during the tournament.
Well, that's why.
During the tournament, just going through, and Jaden at least posted up a video of him with his belt. I watched, I think it was Sarah or somebody, or no, I think it might have been Stock in the coming through. But those women's team, dude, they're doing so much, consistently, that I think I don't know if Japan has crossover where the men's team helps the women's team too, or what it is, but I think if we had a little bit more of that, if we had a little bit more go girls, I think our girls would get better. The level of wrestling would raise up, and I think that more people would jump on board. That's my concern too, honestly, with even keeping the boys and the girls in the same state tournament and expanding the brackets. Last year, I felt like the baseline for the state tournament was finally like really starting to get up there. You know what I'm saying? Like those first round matches, they weren't what you used to see back in the day. This year with increasing it, I think it's a little too soon. I think you're going to have some girls there that maybe, you don't want to say a girl doesn't belong, but maybe isn't the level of what you expect from like maybe say a boy wrestler, at the state tournament. I think we probably could have did a little bit better by just waiting just a little bit longer before we increase the size of those brackets, just to make sure that people got a good show. That was what I heard a lot. I don't know if you were there, Gene, in my first year at Panorama, but that was what I kept hearing all the time is we don't want to send anybody who's not really state worthy. We want to put on a good show.
You want to send somebody who's going to help get your section possibly, move up the ladder for possibly another position. But, I'm thinking about all the tournaments that I've gone to in the last 3 years, and I think there are in the southern section that one extra, because they've always been able to represent 8, right? So, and their third, their fourth girl, they in a couple of weight classes they get up there, and for our smaller sections, it's just going to help develop us because now we got to grow. Okay, maybe she isn't of quality that you're talking about, but if she's a sophomore or a junior, how much better is she going to be the following year? She's going to know how to, what it takes to get back, what it takes to win over there as well. Because that's one of the things. I took 3. Now my 2 girls. I've been taking them to tournaments, big tournaments, for a long time. But my 126 who I took, she was overwhelmed. You could just see that she was overwhelmed by the grandeur, I guess, or the spectacle of the tournament. So, but she was a senior. If she was a junior, then I'd be like, wow, okay, now you know what to expect. Get that out of your head. Let's go.
Yeah. No, I think that's true.
I think that's the whole thing about, they need to be like this level or that level. I think the whole thing is to get as many people there to grow. If we really want to grow the sport,
Agreed.
We need to get as many people there as possible, including fans of younger kids that are now supporting, and the school can say we had a state qualifier. The city can get behind the kids and say we had 10 state qualifiers, whatever it might be, whether it's city of Anaheim or city of LA or, San Diego or wherever. Selma's huge with that. They have parades for these kids when they come back. I think whether or not you or me or Gene thinks that they're worthy or not, I think they deserve it because they qualified through the process.
Yeah, I mean, I get that too. I mean, I guess I see your point too, because, and I say this to some people too, I go, look, even if your girl doesn't qualify, it's important to take them, because it's like watching a football game or baseball game on TV. You don't know the speed or the tempo of things until you're there. You see it, and I think a lot of new wrestlers, a lot of young wrestlers, people who are new to the sport, who have potential, they don't necessarily know how hard these girls hit their moves or how hard they fight takedowns or high, and I think until they get there and they see it, then it's like, whoa, wait, there's another level. I thought I was going hard. That girl goes hard. The first time they see that, it's kind of like, whoa, and it doesn't have to be Gracie or Leda or anybody like that. It could just be somebody else that you just see just fighting, and it's like, whoa, dang, okay, am I really doing everything I can to not get taken down? So I see the value in that also, and appreciate that, I guess. I just worry about that.
Well, I kind of hope that, like for our small section in Los Angeles, that whatever girl gets to go, let's say representing the third spot that we have now, but whether it's my school or any of the schools in our section, that they've taken them to big enough tournaments so that they're prepared. Because like Josh said, they qualified. Yeah, they qualified, but they qualified within our own section. But you have to have that exposure. You have to have the exposure, and I know on my part, I'm taking them to tournaments. You guys see me all the time, but we're hoping like my other counterparts in my section they're doing the same thing. They're taking their girls, getting them ready, so that if they do qualify, they're worthy of it.
Well, that was kind of the thing too that Jimmy had said. He's like, I kind of realized that you were taking your girls southern section, and we realized like we had to start taking our girls out. And I was like, yeah, that was when I got to Panorama. That was all I did. It was just, we're not going to stay in the city. City teams tend to wrestle city teams all year, at the Dijon, at the Birmingham tournament, stuff like that. It was when you started taking the girls out of the area and they got that exposure and that experience. Then it was like, wait, the southern section is actually really tough. And now that city's really growing because you start seeing, now you have Birmingham at places, San Fernando at places, Monroe at places, and I think the level of wrestling in the area has picked up really quick with that in a good way,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're even hosting our own tournaments,
Now, let me ask you this. How are you guys preparing your girls to be for a 3-day weigh-in? Are you scheduled dual meets on Thursdays?
No, I'm not worried about the 3-day weigh-in.
Before a 2-day?
I think the 3-day weigh-in comes from picking a weight that you can manage and that you're not cutting a ton of weight to make for 2 days. If you can make it for 2 days, you can make it for 3 days. That's with the boys too. So I don't think there's any way to prepare for it. I guess you could have a dual meet on Thursday, which a lot of league duels are on Thursday.
That's what I was saying. I think the boys have that advantage because they typically do have dual meet tournament.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you're state level, then you should be at that second day tournament of the tournament anyway. So,
right.
That's just something I think some coaches are probably going to overlook. Maybe some girls will be caught off guard, with having to make that third weigh-in because they're so used to eating that second day. And you guys know, man, I thought boys ate. Girls can eat, man.
No, it's all about being at a weight that you can handle and not, not be lying to yourself and saying, you're trying to drop 2 weight classes, and try to maintain that, and your body's not ready to handle that. That's just going to mess you up in the long run. Even if you get away with it this one weekend, what about the next one? The next time we have to do that. There's no guarantee.
Yeah. So that's going to be I think something that's going to come into play too, because we are, yeah, again, you're having those girls. Well, those girls have to make, because Josh, you said it right. The last day is placing rounds, anyways.
Yeah, last day is just medal. If you medaled, you're making weight.
Yeah, again, that last day you got to make weight. So those kids should kind of be used to it, anyways. It'll be interesting to see. The question is coming into the state tournament. The question coming into the state tournament is like, who's going to go where? Because I was talking to people, and I'm like, okay, Amet Elor's coming in as a freshman, a hammer.
Which, speaking of which, did you see she just won some cadet championship in Japan this weekend?
No.
Yeah.
My God, that girl's a nightmare. So where does she? What does she wrestle? Do you know? Like what weight?
I didn't see. I just saw Valentine post that she won this prestigious Japanese tournament. Maybe Mario or Patrick could have shed some light on, but they're not available.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. I'm going to see if I can look it up real quick. But who's going to fall where? Because of course you have that. Plus you have Jersey is right around that weight class.
I think she's going down. She's been wrestling a lot lighter recently.
Okay.
I've heard rumblings that she might go after Bowman, but we'll see.
Ooh, I don't think that's low though for a Met or for Jersey.
Yeah, for Jersey, but I mean Cheyenne, she wrestles, like pretty far down when it comes to the big stuff, but we'll see what weight she's going. You never know. I mean, that's the hardest thing to predict in wrestling is what weight somebody's going.
Well, that and then you also have because if she's right around 140s, which is what I got text right now, she's right around 140s, and you also got Freitas, you got Drury, you got Estrada, you got that's a huge backlog in that area right there.
Freitas smashed some people that at Freak Show. I'll just tell you that.
I'm not doubting that at all. That girl,
that was a shock, but I mean, I was just like, oh my God.
At all. Super. Hang on a second. I just got a text message. I'm trying to see the weight class here.
It's in Japanese. That's the problem.
65 kilo. She was 65 kilo. So, yeah. I mean, let's see here. So 143. So 143. So she's looking at the 37, 40, 43 area. That's some areas right there that a backlog, like I said.
It's going to get fun right there in that weight and see where I'm sure they'll wrestle a couple times this year and see where they fall. Hopefully they're wrestling at the Esperanza tournament to kind of see where they're all going to go at state. Speaking
of which, I saw something this week and I was kind of a little bit surprised because we discussed, you and I and a couple of the guys were discussing maybe possible super matches. All right, sorry, we called it an invitational rotational. That's what we were calling it, right?
Yeah.
And then we had thrown out Bowman, and then Zepeda had just smashed through Fargo like in a very impressive way. And then we tried to make that happen, and then Dad said she might be dropping down or whatever. But then I saw her Freak Show. She's like kind of high, isn't she? Maybe you might want to reach out to Dad and see if maybe that's a possibility still. Maybe get Bowman versus Zepeda in that rotation.
We can reach out again.
I mean, and then they just put, I think I just saw that they posted up too, something like they're going to be part of a dual meet in Wisconsin. So I don't know. Maybe that's something you want to reach out, Josh, and see if maybe that's second thoughts about what weight she's going. I know it's early in the season, but I think that'd be pretty cool to see Zepeda versus Bowman. There's some matches in there that to be made, I would say.
Yeah, that's
true. A true girls who's number one, maybe a 4-way round robin or a 3-way round robin to see who's really number one. I mean, I don't know. What do you think, Gene? Would that be something you'd be interested in?
That'd be great to watch. Well, you said around like a little rotation.
Yeah.
Like on the same day or like throughout the season, or what are you talking about?
Same day. and they just wrestle each other. You know, in a round robin, maybe during a finals, every 3 matches or something, a match comes up or something. You know, 4 matches or something, because I know you got to have your 45-minute rule. But I think that'd be pretty impressive if you can work that in.
I think it'd be great to watch. I mean, everybody's gonna watch.
I mean, just think about that backlog right there. I just said, like, Freitas, Elor, Bowman. I mean, it's a little big for Bowman, but I mean, you know, throwing some girls in
I
there.
don't think she's scared. I don't think she's scared of.
No, she's definitely not
Oh
scared.
no, I would. And let me, hang on. I'm now scared. Cheyenne, I was not saying you were scared or that you didn't want those matchups.
I think
I was
it's like
just
he did,
saying,
Cheyenne.
Yeah, he said it.
He said it.
I'm just trying not to get bulldozed. That's all I'm saying. Okay, I see what that girl could do. Not that any of these other girls. Never. I'm just gonna shut up now because these girls are gonna. You guys are gonna see me get jumped for the. Well,
Plus, I mean, you got Anya up in that kind of vicinity too. I don't know. You know, I mean, her and Bowman wrestled the same weight last weekend.
yeah, it's a pretty good match too. But yeah, I mean that could be something too. I mean that's a nice little 3-4 way right there.
And I'm sure Caden Campbell wouldn't mind coming out for a match either.
Well, I'm pretty sure if you throw Jersey in there with Bowman and Anya, or you could throw Jersey in there with Ahmet and Freitas, and then throw Anya in there with Caden Campbell and you know, somebody else, I don't know, whoever, and make it 2-3-way round robins. That would be pretty slick as a real true who's number one for girls, not just a matchup, but actually. And who knows? Ooh, maybe, I don't know. Maybe somebody knows Macy Kilty, and maybe Macy Kilty wants to get some of that Freitas action. I don't know. I mean, is Macy Kilty on Titan Mercury yet, Josh, with you guys? So maybe they on the Duran Elite.
I don't know if she's on. No, she's not on Titan Mercury. She's I think she's an Askren Wrestling Academy girl. I think.
Yeah, no, she is. No, she's definitely a Wisconsin girl. But it's just I don't know. Maybe your people know her people, and that works out.
I'll call Ben. I'll text Ben Askren when we're done here, and I'll ask him if she wants to come out.
I could just see Ramos on the sides with a big fur coat and his hair teased up. Sergio Ticini glasses.
America, baby.
Only in America.
As the
Only in
promoter.
America.
The promoter.
Oh, dude. Yeah. No, that would be fun. I'll tell you right now, I'm annoying, but I got some ideas. Let me tell you. Got some ideas.
It's Don Ramos over here.
Dude, I told Josh I'd be willing to chip in to get somebody in town just to make that happen. Because
You did.
Dude, I'll tell you right now, might be annoying, but I love the sport, and I'll chip in to support it. So you ask Josh, how fast can you give me an idea before I'm on the phone, like calling you, like we could do it this way and this way and this way, like
on the other line, it's happening.
He's on the phone with me, the other line beeps, and it's me on the other side. Like I can get this done. Like you give me a problem, I'll find a solution. That's just how it goes. But so Josh, let's make some calls this week. Then I'm going to Florida at the end of this week, so I got a lot of stuff to do, so let me just throw some more on there. Try to get over some more. I'm super game for that one. But what else are you guys looking forward to? I mean, we got the beginning of the year. Where are you guys starting your season at?
We are starting our season at Carter. We have our lower level JV Froshsoft girls tournament pretty much the 17th, which is the second weekend, which I think is really important for some of these girls to go to that aren't quite varsity quality.
Mm-hmm. Now, are you going to be like some of these other tournaments, like in LA City, where they like let section placers get in on the new girls?
One. It was just one, dude. Stop it.
No, I made it very clear that I didn't. I said you know. I told coaches, you know whether or not they're a varsity quality girl or not, and definitely no returning CIF placers. But we'll see. I mean, if some girl wants to come run through the bracket, then it is what it is, and you just don't invite that team next year. But I think it's important that some of these coaches, and I know people are short on coaching staff, try to take these girls that instead of just throwing them to a varsity tournament and going 0-2 their whole high school season for a year, get them some other matches.
Yeah. So I know
I'm doing my tournament on the 17th. Trophies are in. They look sweet. The medals look sweet.
Yeah. I'm gonna think. Oh, gosh, I can't remember where we're starting at this year. I gotta look at the schedule. Obviously, it's not gonna be 17th because I'm coming home on that day. So
you're not even on the schedule, Gene.
What?
What do you have? What do you have? What's it called?
Valley Girl Rumble.
Yeah, it's not on the California Wrestler Forum list.
Yeah, it is.
No, you're looking under novice. They consider that LA City level varsity.
No, I printed out everything. Unless it just got added.
It's been there like all summer.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, I see it. It's there.
Yeah, 17th, the Google Docs for registration will be up, and as soon as I'm done here, I'm gonna post that up so people can start registering their kids. So we got 18 schools so far committed verbally, and
you don't have to drive to Watts this year to set it up. That's a good thing. So, oh man.
So last year, my first year, I had 106 register, 93 actually wrestled. I had 112 last year, 108 actually wrestled. So we'll see where we're at this year.
Yeah.
I got some competition on the same day, but that's okay. That, I'll take care of the people up here, up further north.
Yeah.
That don't want to travel, that's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah. We've seen a lot of tournaments. I don't have any problem with like multiple tournaments. I have a problem with high schools that throw girls wrestling tournaments and don't take care of their girls. That's the only time I have an issue with any of that, because I know there's some programs out there that do that. I just think it's disgusting. You don't send your girls anywhere, but you're gonna throw a girls tournament all the time. That's just so. I don't know.
Well, I know. I mean, we're taking care of the girls. I mean, we're medaling all the way to 5th.
That's how you can count.
We're doing
a finger.
3 MVPs. We're doing the 3 most valuable wrestlers at the different levels. Now we're taking care of the coaches, food, not just like a hot dog from the grill, but we're bringing in food, and we're doing first, second, and third place trophies.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I saw Angela got over the hill, got a big win in Vegas.
No, it was actually Christina that got the big win.
Okay.
Christina got, yeah, we got we took in the semis, we took on Sierra.
That's the one they were telling me about.
Okay. Yeah, and Christina has never beaten her when they have wrestled each other, and Christina got it.
Yeah,
it was really nice too. It was a good win for her, and then she got a rematch in the next round on the finals to the same girl from CIF, the finals. So it was a rematch of the finals.
Nice.
Yep.
What do we see it? Damn, it's fast.
And then
hang on, Josh. I'm gonna make you the main screen for a second. Hold on. People can see it. Hang on one second. Present to everyone. Here we go. Dude,
there you go. There you go.
Promoter.
There you go.
It's the worst.
Man, your head is so big, it works almost on every Photoshop.
It's amazing, isn't it? I could be 6'5", I could be 4'2". You don't know. Little do they know I'm only 4 foot. I got my Nike Air Maxes on. But yeah, no, I the girls are talking about that she had gotten the win. I was like,
Angela took her on again at Montclair, I think last weekend.
Really?
And, yeah, and it didn't go too well. be injured for the rest of the season.
Who?
Oh,
Sarah.
well, no,
Angela went at her, and Angela said that, how do you call it, when she grabbed that leg and she heard like a pop in her knee, and that's why she let her go.
yeah, no. Like I talked to her mom. She did say that they were at the ER because I was going to drop off a singlet to her, and yeah, unfortunately, I mean, pray she's okay. We don't want anybody to be injured, but
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good. You know, she's a national champ, and we don't want that to happen to her. But yeah, but no, I love both those girls. Christina and Angela are both great kids, and Christina's a class president, huh?
Yeah, she's class president. Has got like a 3.8.
Good. So and that rest.
Hey, I never took any AP classes, and I'm doing all right.
Oh man, don't do that. Don't give them those low waters like that.
You know what I noticed though in boys and girls wrestling? When you get the kids that are like, I'm gonna say the top 5%, and they're making state finals, they're making national finals, they're that. I'm gonna say 95% of them are 3.8 or higher GPAs. You know, their work ethic transforms all the way from life to the classroom to the wrestling room.
It sure does.
I mean, you get a couple ones that are just skating by, they're super good athletes. But I mean, for the most part, these kids, you know, when you hear GPAs in the state finals, it's always, you know, 4.2, 3.8, or they just don't announce it because it's a 2.4. But
well, now they don't have to worry about it because they're all homeschooled.
Right.
4.0.
That's the thing. Like, man, you hear about that a lot more nowadays than you used to hear before. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not on that train yet. But I mean, some of it obviously is legit. I mean, kids have issues, medical issues, whatever. But I think nowadays I hear it more than ever. Like, you know, kids getting homeschooled.
I can't wait till your daughter becomes a really good, your little one becomes a really good wrestler. And 10 years, you're homeschooling her and training her 3 times a day. And we can just look back and just say, you're that dad.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, let's go.
Gosh, hold on. She's going to homeschool him.
I won't have a say, dude. The little one is an animal, dude. I'm going to be honest with you. My older one, she was a handful when she was little, but the little one's an animal, dude. Like, I legit had to buy a pad shield because she was literally like chest kicking me because she's as tall as me, but she's like, you know, Spartan kicking me all the time and like trying to tackle me. So I had to buy an Adam doll, like a 3-foot Adam doll, and then a chest shield so I stopped getting beat up by my little one. Freaking animal. I don't know. I hope she. I don't think I'm gonna be that lucky. So, but anyhow, anything else you guys got? You guys good to go?
We're good. What's the tournament? For this year? In the Hill, La Puente. What's the main one?
We were talking about last time. We have like a series of like 5 or 6 tournaments we're going to be looking at highly for our rankings, just for our rankings, you know. And Esperanza is probably the latest one that we're going to look at because it's like really, you know, at that last turn, and I think we'll get some matchups there like we got last year. La Puente was really big last year. Napa is an obvious one. Mario said Brittany David was real tough for the North. So those are 2 northern ones.
Yeah, the TOC, West Coast TOC.
West Coast TOC.
Carter's hard. It's a tough tournament, but it's hard because you never know what they're always 3 weight classes up.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that it makes it hard to keep Carter in the loop on that because it's right after around Thanksgiving time. You know, it's tough. You know, as good as that tournament is, nobody's really at their weight class at that point. I think Angie Gomez last year was like what, a weight class up, 2 weight classes up or something like that.
Yeah, she was 111. Her and Richie wrestled at 111 in the finals.
And then they both end up at 101, or one ended up 106, one ended up 101 or something like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, it ended up that way. So we get good matchups at Carter, but unfortunately it's just really early in the season. Was a little bummed actually to learn that the Savannah Rebel Rumble isn't around anymore. That was kind of a good beginning of the year, but
yeah, that was one of my first tournaments, man.
Yeah,
I was bummed too.
So So
But
you
I just
got the
that,
date.
that tournament was like it's one of those early season tournaments that you just don't know. Like everyone's 2-3 weight classes above. I mean, that was like earlier than Carter, right? Like 1 week earlier than Carter, even.
No, it's the same weekend as
Same
Carter.
weekend. It actually began because your buddy, I think Mario, got upset at Gaze one year at Gaze's tournament. It was like, screw this, we're gonna do our own. So then he did it, and then he moved it to Carter, and then now
Oh, and then Carter took it from him.
Carter has some massive tournament now. It's like Jesus, and he's got hammers on like that were registered. When I last talked to him, he said he had some teams coming in from out of state and stuff. And it sounds like, and it's a 2-day this year, and they have an awesome gym. Like so, yeah.
Oh, hey, weight assessments too. We didn't talk about that, did we?
Yeah, we didn't talk about weight assessments.
What do you guys want to? I mean, I know
So
like
Southern section is still doing regular hydration, right?
yeah, but Central I heard is using the wand.
So are we?
Again,
in
it was
LA?
supposed to be just a test.
LA is too.
LA is too.
Oh man, did you hear what the justification was for that, for using the wand?
No.
Literally, they're having a meeting, and the district attorney, the attorney for the school district or something like that, was right outside in another room. They called him in. They're like, hey, should we use this wand, or should we have kids peeing in a cup in front of adults? The wand. They don't want any liability. So I don't know. You hear rumors about manipulation and stuff like that, how easy it is, but you never know. I mean, there'll always be somebody who works around the system, but I mean,
there is. But with girls, they tend to have such a higher body fat content than boys. I mean, boys are already walking around at 8-9% body fat, and the lowest they can be is 7. And most girls are walking around at 15 to 17 plus.
Be careful. I made a joke once, and then all of a sudden I was the bad guy about
I'm looking at the numbers. I can see the numbers on the weight management.
Yeah, I'm a physical education teacher, so I can tell you the biology reason why. But regardless of that, what are the points?
It's not biology. It's called tamales.
It's called biology. It's called biology.
Who's going to get in trouble now? No, but like, okay, so where do we carry our weights? I mean, I'm not going to deny, but I carry most of my weight in my midsection. But that's not an area that gets wanded.
Where it gets wanded? Explain it. Explain it to the people that aren't doing the wand system.
Yeah.
The back of the tricep and the back and the scapula.
So pretty much where the fat pinch test was, except for the belly. Use a caliper.
For the boys, I think for the boys they're doing the 3rd point. For the girls, it's only 2. Now I wasn't in on the exam, so I don't know if they did the 3rd. On like they did the waist on girls, but we had female trainers that were certified for the wand, and they're the ones that tested the girls out, and then they had a gentleman who did with the boys, but I wasn't inside there to see like if it was true 3 and then 2 points.
What is the difference between that and a Tanita, like the old system?
They still get on the Tanita.
That's just to test hydration?
No. That's a body fat percentage.
Body fat percentage. It gives them their weight, but doesn't give them the body fat percentage. The body fat percentage comes from the wand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, height, weight, they get their whatever with those measurements, then they get the wand, and then they actually tell the kids as they're walking out, the lowest weight you can go is. So I was like, where's the receipt? I want to see the receipt. And they're like, no receipt.
Man.
So you got to go in on the alpha management system and check to make sure there's no errors, because there are errors quite frequently.
I would imagine, which is one of my assignments for next week. But also, the other thing is the money thing, because, for us, I don't know how it was for the Central Section or it is, but, kid has to show up and pay $10 to wrestle. And you can't pay to play. So now what they're going to do, right? So now what they're going to do is they're going to bill the school after everybody's done. Then they'll send a bill and they'll take it like out of my trust or something. No problem.
Doesn't really matter, don't they always take your money anyways?
Somebody does. Somebody does.
Somewhere, basketball ends up with new jerseys every year. Ramirez hosts a tournament, and basketball shows up with new jerseys. It's like, how does that happen?
Yeah. That's my type of luck, though. That's what.
Yeah, just get beaten like that. So yeah, so that's interesting. I mean,
But we'll see. I mean, I guess it might be everybody's going to that next year. I don't know.
wouldn't be mad about it, but yeah, I don't know. So yeah,
It works.
Yeah, I mean, anything that keeps the kids safe. That's the most important thing. So
yeah, but is this whole weight management thing keeping anybody safe? No.
You haven't had have you had any deaths since then? Weight cutting deaths?
That's before then.
That's what kind of caused it. Don't you remember those 3 people that died in 1996?
Yeah, those were college wrestlers. Those weren't high school kids that were cutting too much weight.
But the research showed that those wrestlers and all those wrestlers in those programs have been doing it since they were in high school and even before high school. That's what scared everybody.
And we haven't had any since. So you can't really say it's not working. I mean, that I just, playing devil's advocate here. I mean, I did some pretty stupid things, and
Same here.
I should probably be dead. My junior year, I ended up in like really bad situation. So it's kind of scary too, because like my junior year, right before Masters, I ended up like bad. I was bad all year because I wasn't supposed to cut the weight that I was, but the guy who ended up at the same school I ended up at that year, he didn't end up making the weight he was supposed to make, so they asked me to drop. And my dad was all freaked out because a week after Masters, there was a professional bodybuilder named Mohammed Benaziza who had the same symptoms I had, who ended up going in and having cardiac arrest and died. So my dad was like super freaked out. I remember that. And I was like, oh damn, like I'm okay. Like, he's pretty bummed out about it. And he was like, never again. So I never got to cut weight like that again until I got to college because he wasn't there. But I didn't want to get beat by him. So yeah, my story. But what? Now, never mind. I was gonna ask like, what's one of your worst weight cutting stories? But you know what? I don't want to advocate that.
No, we don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, I don't want to advocate for that. So yeah. Anyhow, alrighty, fellas. Well, this is our first podcast back. Of course, we'll be back again, but we wanted to get this one out so that we can start getting everybody back on track. And then everybody, if you haven't already, please subscribe, rate us 5 stars on iTunes, Google Play, all that good stuff. Make sure you guys, follow us on Instagram, on the Twitter. We're on that too, even though we don't use it that much. But anyhow, thanks a lot, guys, for showing up today. I know it was like a last second, like, hey, are you guys up for it? But I got my laptop back and I was pretty happy about it, and I wanted to hurry up. And by the way, Jared down there in San Diego, he was asking about us. A couple other people were asking about us, so wanted to get it out there. So anyhow, you guys have a good night. Again, thank you, everybody. We appreciate it. Let's get the playing out music going here. And
November 17th, we got 2 tournaments going on, so come on out.
Yep. Let's go.